Hey everyone, this is Komal here from EnglishWise. In the last video, we discussed about useful tips and tricks related to your drag and drop filling the blanks. In this video, we are going to discuss today about drop down filling the blanks, which is very important, not from the reading perspective only, but from the writing module perspective as well. So let's start, and today I will be solving in front of you all those questions so that you can see how I implement those strategies while actually you are attempting those questions. So I'm going to start with the EnglishWise Portal. So let's go to reading and writing filling the blanks today. Let's select any random questions. All right. So let's start with this. So first thing, when you actually see the passage in front of you, do not judge the difficulty level of the passage by just looking at the length of the passage. Sometimes it happens that I've seen that when you see that the passage is only about 3 to 4 lines, you're very comfortable, you're very compassed, but the moment you see the passage is quite lengthy, you actually get scared, and it actually makes you so nervous that you are not able to focus on the question well. So do not worry, even if the passage is too lengthy, so that should be completely fine. Okay, so first step is, when you read the sentence, make sure that you actually infer the message out of that. That was the number one useful tip. So do not read it in the monotonous tone, like genetically modified food provide no dash to consumers. No, you have to read like that. Genetically modified foods provide no dash benefit to consumer, so that I should understand, okay, the author is talking about modified foods. He is talking about something, the foods that provide, and the word is no, so that is in the negative sense. So this sort of understanding is very important. If you just read it in like you're reading simply a book or any passage or read aloud, so it's not going to help you. Okay, so let's start now and focus. Genetically modified foods provide no dash benefit to consumers. So when we talk about genetically modified foods, so what are these foods actually about? So genetically modified foods basically are the ones that are derived from the organism modifying their DNA. So they have actually less value. So provide no dash benefit to consumers. So if we know that foods which are actually natural, so they provide a lot of benefits. So if they are talking about genetically modified foods, means they do not provide us the benefit as much as the natural food provide. So dedicated, direct, deliberate, or positive. Now the word deliberate is intentional, so it doesn't relate really. So positive benefit, direct benefit, or dedicated. Dedicated also doesn't make any sense. Direct or positive. So no positive means not at all. But we are not talking about that they do not provide at all. They do provide, but not as much. So we can say here, no direct benefit. The food is not dash better or cheaper. Now see, noticeably, necessarily, narrowly, nobly. Now you should be able to know the meanings of these ones. Go slowly. So first of all, look at the word narrowly. Narrowly doesn't relate with, it doesn't fit according to the blank, I would say. Then you have noticeably. What do you mean by noticeably? It's like something that is easily recognized or easily seen or noticed, right? And then there is a one that is nobly. Nobly means in a very impressive way. So the food is not dash better or cheaper. So probably they will go with the word noticeably. Is not noticeably better or cheaper. The greater benefit dash argue. This comma has the relevance in itself. So when we talk about greater benefit dash argue, who argue? Definitely they will be talking about people here. So we have opponents, we have proponents. Now how to think that how to fit over there. Now if you just carefully see, you can see the word opponents here, right? So if you already have opponents in the passage, it means that it's already given disagree. Means who will argue? Of course, proponents. So easy to guess. Is that genetic engineering will play a crucial role in dash the world's dash population. in dash the world. Now what you will fit here? So in dash the world's dash population. So first of all, let's say we are talking about genetic engineering. Will play a crucial role in dash the worlds. We are talking about food at the same time. So when we talk about food, so definitely the word is not meeting, increasing, dealing, it's feeding. Feeding the world's dash population. Burning, burgeoning, declining, bargaining. Bargaining, we are not purchasing anything. It's not declining because population is constantly increasing. So that is burning is not burgeoning. Burgeoning means what? It's a adverb. So it means basically something that is increasing, rapidly increasing. So the word will fit here. Opponents disagree. Now it means that opponents will disagree to what? This second statement. Dash that the world already grows more food per person than ever before. Now opponents, they disagree, assessing that, inserting that, addicting that, asserting that. Assessing, we are not assessing anything, we are not evaluating. Inserting is to include something, we are not including. Addicting, out of track. Asserting means stating your point with some belief, with some confidence, or declaring it very firmly something. So which actually goes with the opponents, their critics. So I'll go with the word asserting. That the world already grows more food per person than ever before, more even than we can dash. So we can. So we are talking about food here. So food, we can assume, consume, consume, or resume. So definitely we are talking about food, so that would be consume. So try to see always which word will fit according to the context. But do not be overconfident, I would say. Sometimes we ignore even the words which could actually fit. So consider all the options, go slowly, infer the message of the passage. Questions would be really very easy, believe me. So let's click on verify. Here we go. Let's do one more question. That is UWS. Now let's start with this. UWS graduates Resha Bound and Anna Ford, whose story first appeared in Grad Life in December 2009, have dash risen through the ranks to be dash associates at the leading Western Sydney law firm. Now one more thing, do not jump to the conclusion just by reading this part, okay? Always read the entire statement and then try to fit the word. I have seen that students just see the word like 2009 have and they just start looking for the options. But it's very important that you read the part that is later on, okay? Have dash risen. Now risen is what? Risen is my verb, right? So absolutely risen, successfully risen, uncertainly, apparently. They're definitely talking about a person and they're talking about ranks here. You're talking about promotion in the next line. So they have successfully risen. Successfully is what? Successfully is my adverb. Risen through the ranks to be. So we have the word to be pointed, to be appointed, to be assigned, to be done. So when we talk about basically the ranks over here, so which word would come? So ranks, they are always appointed. Ranks to be appointed associates at leading Western Sydney law firm, Coleman Geek Lawyers. The promotion marks the dash of many years of hard work for these legal dash. The promotion marks the dash. Now, if someone got the promotion, it means that it is after lot of hard work, right? So dash of many years of hard work. Accumulation is collection, and the word trough is basically a channel or low point or achievement, low achievement. Consolation doesn't fit over here. So promotion marks the culmination. Culmination basically means the highest point of something, that someone has achieved something after so much of struggle or like that. It's a culmination of something that ends up. So culmination of many years of hard work, that finally the hard work pays off and they actually got promotion. So I would go with the word culmination. Many years of hard work for these legal hawks, pigeon, mirrors, eagles. So legal eagle is basically the word used for the skilled lawyers or very skilled or careful, very clever students or related with the law. So they are talking about legal. That's a collocation you can say over here. Who are the first to rise to this? So this what they are talking about promotion, this item, level, time or year. Definitely it's a level word because they have achieved this rank basically. So you see here, you should know have successfully risen. You should be also able to identify that what sort of word you should be looking for. If I know that that's a risen, I will be looking for before verb something adverb, that is successfully. Then ranks to be dash. Okay, that's a verb. Culmination of many years. Legal, eagle is my noun here. Okay, so try to think that whether you are looking for verb, adverb, noun or adjective. That will actually help you to solve the blanks in a better way. Let's solve another question. Now, some students say they need complete quiet to read and study. So okay, they are talking about students who love to actually study in the quiet place. Others study best in a crowded, noisy room because the noise actually dash them concentrate. So noise actually stops them, gives, aids, helps. So it is definitely someone can get into that, okay, it maybe stops. But when you read here, it's given here someone study best in crowded. So if someone can study best in the crowded environment, it means the noise is actually helping them or stopping them. Definitely it is helps them. Aids won't be, aids is like a kind of support, but it's not supporting. Some student like quiet music playing, others. So if some require others, it would be definitely others do not, right? Doing not, we are not performing any action, so it's do not. The point is you should know the level of noise that is optimal, that is effective for your own studying. However, one general rule for all the students is that television seems to be more of a distraction than music or other background noise. So dash the TV off when you are reading or studying. So what the TV off? Make the TV off, put the TV off. It's always leave the TV off. Some things you have to see from your daily perspective, daily life as well, that okay, what are the most commonly used words in your daily life, what you listen, what you use most of the time. So we normally say okay, leave the TV off. So you can associate like that as well. Dash, don't let yourself become distracted by computer games, email or internet. However, yet also thus. Thus is like a conclusion. However and yet are basically used when you have the contradictory statement. In the previous sentence, they are saying leave the TV off when you are reading. And the next line they are saying don't get distracted by computer games. So that means that they are actually confirming the same statement. They are not changing their idea from one perspective to another perspective. So I'll definitely go with the word that is also, right? So here we are going with this one. So that's over. Let's try the next one. All right, so let's start with this one. The petrified forest. Petrified is something very terrified, very frightening situation. The petrified forest is home to some of the most impressive fossils ever found, and more are being discovered each year as continuing erosion is dash new evidence. So continuing erosion is my noun, is dash new evidence. New evidence is also my noun. So what they are doing? Exposing, expanding, explaining, expecting. So something is definitely, the erosion is exposing, that is revealing something, that is demonstrating something. So I'll go with the word exposing. Fossil finds here show that forest was once a tropical region dash with towering trees. So forest dash with trees. So forests are connected with, filled with, restored with, treated with. Restored, treated, not. Connected with. They can connect, but actually, which is the most word which can actually fit 100%, that is filled. So forests, they are filled with the trees, makes a logical sense. More than 150 different species of fossilized plants have been discovered by paleontologists, and evidence dash that Asian native people who inhabited this region about 10,000 years ago has been dashed. So and evidence. So evidence will arguing. Evidence cannot argue. People can argue. thinking assume. So definitely more than 150 species of fossil plants have been discovered and evidence. So this part is over here till paleontology. So now I have to use something. This verb, whatever the verb you want to choose here, should basically describe this evidence word, right? Evidence dash. Don't consider that you have to put something with the paleontologist. No, with the evidence. Evidence will be indicating. Next is 10,000 years ago has been dashed by archaeologist. Has been what by the archaeologist? Has been confirmed. Because they're talking about something 10,000 years ago has been. So 10,000 years ago, I cannot say predicted. Prediction is about the future. Deducted, rejected, it doesn't make sense. So it is confirmed, something that was assured by them. Yes, okay. So questions will be really very easy, believe me, okay, if you understand the context of the passage. Let's give it a go to the next one. All right, so now if you see, the passage is quite lengthy over here, but let's give it a try. Throughout the 18th century, mathematicians, scientists, and philosophers researched, discussed, and published their investigators into how the world worked, while engineers and inventors developed new and successful machines and processes. The latest technologies, theories inspired the great invention, and more technology encouraged theoretical scientists to make further discoveries in medicine, biology, mechanics, physics, and chemistry. By 1800, the new machines dash brought revolutionary changes. So are cannot be, were cannot be. Machines were brought doesn't make sense, because machines actually they have brought revolutionary. So I want have or had. Have if I'm talking about present, had if I'm talking about past. So they are talking about 1800, so I'll definitely go with the word had. The new machines had brought the revolutionary changes to the workplace. Coming to the next one, some of these inventions simply made it easier to produce things on the large scale, such as textile machines and foundries dash produce. So they are talking about here machines and foundries. Those produce large quantities of cloth, which produce. So which will refer to these machines. Those if I'm talking about something very far away, unconnected one, okay. If they are talking about directly, so I'll definitely go with the which, okay. If I say, let's say about a book which explains about the stories of great scientists, so I'll talk about, I won't say I bought a book those explain, which, because I'm talking about currently about that book, okay. But some inventions dash completely new possibilities. Some inventions necessitated, enforced, took completely new possibility doesn't make. Enforced, we are not forcing, we are not establishing something. Necessitated, it's not a mandatory or requirement, it's a brought. It would take decades for some of these inventions to make a big impact on the world. Dash their creation and the sheer amount. Dash their creation and the sheer amount of imagination and risk-taking involved mark the beginning of modern global technologically. Now here you have been given with the connector. Notwithstanding, no, notwithstanding, we are not disagreeing. As their creation and the sheer amount, no. Whether their creation and whether is used, whether this is happening, I want to do this, okay, whether it's raining but still I have the mood to go out. So there is no condition given. It's yet their creation and the sheer amount of imagination risk-taking involved mark the beginning of the modern global technologically based economy of the kind that we live in today. So it's gone, right? So dash their creation, that is yet, when we have something that is in the contradiction. So that's done. I hope that by this time you are actually getting an idea about how I'm solving these questions, okay. Let's give it a go to one last question. So last one, chemical protection, okay, as the demand, but do not start from here directly. I would say always read the first line, okay, in order to form the better idea about the passage. As demand for food and competition for land rises, it is vital that the crop losses are limited. Chemical protection has dash effective control, harness, utilize, provide, offset. though. It's provided effective control. They're not harnessing, they're not utilized. So provided effective control of crop losses in the recent years. Alongside chemical fertilizers and improved crops genetics, it has helped to increase the crop yield dramatically over the last 6 decades. There is now need to develop complementary alternatives. Now they are talking about alternatives to this. So it means that I have difference of opinions, right? So someone has difference of opinions, I'll put however, because that is contradictory. Okay, though this thing is being there, but now they need to develop complementary alternatives. Rural economy and land use program have been exploring the potential of and barriers to alternative pest management approaches. Alternatives to chemical pesticides are because overuse of them leads to pesticide resistance. So alternatives to chemical pesticides are overshot, expired, needed, engaged. So they are needed, they are required basically. Why? Because the reason has been given to you. Overuse of them leads to pesticide resistance and affects biodiversity and water quality. Next line. Heightened EU regulations are also leading to withdrawal of many pesticide products. Complementary approaches are required to reduce the use. Now over here you have to see before you start though, yet, hence, but. Hence, okay, hence this is the result of something. Though is again a condition, yet again the difference of opinion, but again is the opposite direction. So let's see. Complementary approaches are required to reduce the use and preserve the efficacy of those valuable pesticides that are still available to sustain food production systems. So what we are going to talk about here is definitely we need those therapies over here. So it means that we are going to look for the word hence. Hence means basically over here therefore. Hence, complementary approaches are required to reduce the use and preserve the efficacy of those valuable pesticides that are available. So try to study, I would say, some of the connectors as well, practice some grammar exercises as well. Soon I will be discussing about them as well, so that you have a better clarity where to use which connector, and it will definitely help you to solve your drop-down filling the blanks. So you must have now seen that how I go with that. And do not read very slowly, I would say. Okay, when you read very slowly, your mind goes on sleeping mode, I would say. Be very actively engaged, read it with interest, try to form the idea about the passage, have the knowledge about the words which you don't know. I would recommend you to write down those words on your notebook daily, and before your exam, try to at least learn 300 to 400 new words, I would say. If you know the meaning of the word, you know the use of the word, definitely you cannot face any problem while solving your questions. So this was all from my side. I hope that everyone has learned about the information about how to solve these questions. I'll soon come with another video about different modules. If you have any particular issue, any particular question, you can always suggest me by writing down in the comment section. Do let me know how you if you have understood, and if you have any question, you can also let us know. Hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much.